MLB season, we're about like 25 games in or so, 20, maybe about 20. And the MLB is shaking up kind of big time if I'm being real. So today we are going to go back and we are going to rank every MLB team, our first set of power rankings. Now to make this easier on myself, because I want to get the content out quickly, we're going to do this like a tier list. I'm basically just going to yeah, I got the tiers set up here. You'll see them in a second. But basically, we're going to be doing the power rankings for every MLB team. They get a little spicy in some places, but overall, they're pretty consistent with a lot of other people's, but some hot takes. With that being said, if you do enjoy, please subscribe and leave a like on this video. It's the best way you can show your support. It would really help me out. Also, go check out the podcast, Hardball Hangout, and the podcast. They both are going to be on this YouTube channel and on Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. You could go and hear my ad reads there. With that being said, let's get right into the video. Alright, we're here at the tier list right now, and basically all the teams are in order right now, so I'm just going to try to hide them at the bottom. With that being said, let's get right into it. So, starting off with the number 30 team, we have the Cincinnati Reds, and they're obviously going here. I mean, you want to look at the hitting side of it. If we're going by, I don't know, batting average, I think is what seems to be the category here. The Cincinnati Reds are hitting 206, which is second worst in all the league to the Diamondbacks, who are just on another level of bad hitting. We'll get to them in a second, don't worry. But on the pitching side, I don't think it really gets much better, boys. If we scroll all the way down, we go up, I can't see them. Yeah, they're dead last in pitching with a 6.04 ERA. 6 runs per game. That is not good. A whip of 1.64. It's also not good at all. Phillies are 22. That's an interesting one, actually. Yes, they deserve to be there. Now we got the Orioles. They're going to be at the number 29 spot. Now, the Orioles, they're also really bad. We'll start the pitching since we're already here. Pitching actually has been surprisingly average. They're at a 3.77 ERA pitching. They just lost John Means, so that's really going to hurt them. But we go to the hitting, 24th. So the record is bad. Yes, the record is very bad. They really don't have anybody, but they're not like dead last anything. They're bottom 6, and then they're about average pitching. But yeah, there's nothing much to be excited about with this Orioles team. Next up, we got the Arizona Diamondbacks. I told you we get to them soon. We just saw dead last in hitting, a 183 batting average. We go to the pitching side. I'm pretty sure they're pitching a little bit. I think, yeah, they're number 12 in pitching with a 3.44 ERA, so they're actually pitching a little bit. A whip of 1.29, opposing batting average of 241. Not bad at all, but they just can't hit, so they're there. Texas Rangers are going to be coming up at the number 30, 29, 28, 27 spot. We want to go here, and we're looking at the pitching. They are 27, the 4.76 ERA as a team. If we want to go to the hitting side of things, I don't think they're doing much better. Yeah, 21st with a 221 batting average. Seager Simeon has not been what they're hoping for so far. Number 26, completing the bottom 5, it's going to be the Kansas City Royals. Starting out with the hitting, I'm pretty sure they're almost dead last. They are. They're at a 209 batting average. They are not doing anything. They have a 597 OPS as a team. That is absolutely horrendous. That's terrible. Even after a no-hitter yesterday, the Phillies remain like 8th in hitting, if you just want to look at that. Yeah. Royals have always been able to pitch at least a little bit, but this year it is not going their way. A 4.70 ERA. That is terrible. Right, starting off the bottom 10, we got the Pittsburgh Pirates. Brian Hayes he's going to be very good. Brian Reynolds, we already know, is very good. JT Brubaker is like a solid 4 starter, but he's your number 1 right now. That's about where this team is at. They are not pitching well at all. They are second last in pitching, a 5.12 ERA. The hitting side of things, it gets a little bit better. They're near average hitting. We got a 231 batting average, 629 OPS, not good. Not getting on base, like they're not walking much at all. When you look at a team like the Padres that's walking 10% of the time, jeez. In number 24 spot, we got the Washington Nationals. The team has Juan Soto, who I think is the best player in baseball. Josh Bell, I mean, nah. Nelson Cruz, it's just kind of old. The Nats, they're actually kind of hitting pretty average. Number 16, 233 batting average. But as a team, they're getting on base pretty well. The slugging is not there at all. A lot of singles. You see the 632 OPS. We go to the pitching. Their pitching has been abysmal from what I have heard so far. Yeah, at 28th, 4.96 ERA. That is, we're in the bad category right now. 23 spot, Detroit Tigers. And this is a team I'm a little bit disappointed in. We want to look at the hitting, the pitching. They have a 3.46 ERA. It puts them 13th in all baseball. The hitting has been the most disappointing part of this whole entire thing. We gotta go near the bottom. Oh, actually, they've gotten a little bit better. So when I looked last, they were somewhere in this bottom category, but they've gotten a little bit better. The OPS is 616, terrible. 227 batting average, not great. Getting out, walking actually a pretty decent amount of the time. slugging is not there. That's what you're seeing. It's just no slug, no home runs, no nothing. But if we want to look at like the MLB standings, when we look at standings, they're dead last, 6 and 13. It's a bad start. 22, Colorado Rockies. Now they are a team that actually has a decent record. I'm pretty sure. Like they're a team right here. You see 11 and 9 isn't like terrible. I did not mean to do that. Just got 4 games swept by those Phils of mine. But if we just look at the stats, they've been playing at home a lot, which we already know gives them a little bit of an advantage. Not a ton because it is kind of hard to play at Coors regardless. But hitting, this team is number 1, and that's where this gets a little bit confusing. Batting average wise, they have the best batting average in all baseball as a team. OPS, I'm pretty sure it's not the best. It's like one of the best though. Yeah, number 2 to the Angels in OPS. Going back to the batting average, and they're getting on base a decent amount of the time, about 7% of the time. And so this team is hitting really well. Go to the pitching side, and yeah, that's 25 with a 4 point. Let me see. Give you 4.65 ERA. That's where it gets really, really bad. 11 and 9. If you're first in hitting and you're 11 and 9, no aspirations for this team at all whatsoever. They've been losing when they're out away. They've been winning when they're at home. It's just how it kind of works for them. Number 21, we got the Cleveland Guardians. Now, this is a team that really has fallen off recently. No one really had much hope for this team. When we look at the standings right now, they're 8 and 12, somehow second in their division. That doesn't make any sense. But if we go to the team stats, they were in hitting. They were right about the top about a week ago. And you want to see how far they've fallen. They have gone down. Oh, well, they're actually still at 5 with a 250 batting average, but they started at number 1 and they've fallen off quite a bit. They were at about 290 last time I checked, 250 now. And obviously it's going to change big time when you're early on in the season. But in this team, if we want to look at their RBIs, ooh, that's actually kind of, I like that. RBIs, where are we? 90 RBIs, that's not terrible. 281 total bases. Wow, Philly's got 271. Yeah, so they're hitting pretty well. Pitching is supposed to be the strength of this team. If you want to look at it, it's been 21st, and Bieber has not been himself. Plesac has not been good. McKenzie's been okay. He's just not been what he should be. So that's gonna add up to number 21, I believe. All right, so that is your bottom 10. Starting in the top 20, the 20 team, we got the Chicago Cubs, another team that quietly was like hitting ridiculously well early on, and as you can see, they're not pitching at all, even though they got Stroman and Hendricks. 4.40 ERA. But if we go over to the hitting stats, I think they're still near the top. They are hitting really, really well. 253, 728 OPS as a team, not bad at all. 390 slug, it could go higher. On base percentage, they're walking about 8% of the time, 8.5. That's actually not bad. Hitting wise, they're doing great. Pitching wise, it's terrible, and their record right now kind of shows for it as 8 and 12. So if you can't pitch, you can't win. That's just kind of the bottom line. Heading to the south side of Chicago for our next team, 19, I got the White Sox, and this is a bit of a surprising one. I mean, if we just want to go back to this, they're 7 and 12 right now. That is terrible. 7 and 12. Why? Well, let's see why. We're in the hitting stats. We want to go like way down to the bottom. They are 28th in hitting with a 207 batting average, a 593 OPS. That is terrible. Dallas Keuchel, and we got Lucas Giolito. We got a pretty nice rotation, and guys are getting injured still. Where are we? We are at the 20th spot. 3.99 ERA. It's been a big disappointment for this team so far. Moving on, number 18, Boston Red Sox. Another team that's a little bit disappointing this year. They're 4th in their division, 9 and 12 right now, and 3 and 7 in their last 10. The Yankees are a team that are just on fire. We'll get to them later. The Red Sox, they've been struggling. If we want to look at their stats, pitching wise, we'll start there. We want to go, I think it's near the bottom. Oh, they're pitching actually pretty well. 3.43 ERA, a 1.23 whip. If we go to the hitting side and where they pick up Trevor Story, they've got all these bats. They've got all these really, really good bats. We want to go, they're 20th in hitting with a 226, a 615 OPS, and they're actually slugging pretty well considering what their batting average is. A 100 difference is actually not terrible at all when you are, 100 difference is not terrible. This is 120 difference, so. Number 17, Atlanta Braves. This one is a little bit hurts me. I am a Phillies fan, and I hate the Braves. They're my second least favorite team to the team that will not be named. But if we look at it right now, hitting-wise, they're dead average. They are hitting 235 right now. 732 OPS on as a team is not bad at all. This team has not been able to pitch this year. 23rd behind the Phillies. 23rd in pitching, a 4.16 ERA, 2.5 whip. Pitching has been disappointing. Morton's been bad. Fried has been bad. Noah has not been good either. Disappointing to say the least. Acuna's coming back should help this team. I think they're going to continue to rise if I'm being real. Defending World Series champions. You got to have faith in them. A team that's really kind of weird, and I hate putting them here because I feel like they should be like dead last. It's the Oakland Athletics, who kind of have to go here. They're 10-10, and that's slightly better than these Braves. And if we look at the stats, like, the Braves are like 15th in one thing and they're 23rd in another thing. But if we look at these Oakland Athletics, they're 17th in pitching, pretty average, 3.69 ERA. They've been able to pitch a little bit, but we go to the hitting side and they're not hitting at all. They're pretty much even. They're 211. They're pretty much even with, because they're about where the Braves are with pitching, and they're about here. And their record is technically better. They're a half a game up on the Braves. Not that it matters because they're in two different leagues, but if you feel me, I kind of have to put them here. This one might be a little bit biased, putting above them, but oh yeah, we're done with this tier, by the way. This is the next 5. The most average team on earth is the Phillies. I kind of had to put it this way because, oh Lord, does this team make me scratch my head all the time. Oh Lord, where do I begin? We pick up Schwarber and Castellanos this offseason, and we're supposed to be really good. And Castellanos has been so good. Oh my gosh, he's been so good. Base hit machine. But Schwarber has just been bad. And it's not completely his fault because he's getting really unlucky because every time he steps over the plate, it seems like someone's bringing in a lefty. Yesterday, he's the only guy who actually did anything in the no-hitter. He walked 3 times yesterday. He's walking a lot, which is really good, especially against the lefties, but he's striking out against lefties, either walk or strike out. He's not hitting at all against lefties. So it's disappointing, and Rhys Hoskins has not been what he should be. Bryce Harper has been heating up a little bit, but yesterday, very bad, obviously. It was a no-hitter, so hopefully they can bounce back. They really need to at least get 1 game. It would be great if they could get 2 games against the Mets today. Now they're 5 games back on the Mets. I will go into the stats though. 8th in hitting. They were 4th until yesterday where they went 0 for 27. Batting average 246. 716 OPS as a team. Not bad. Slugging 397. That means they're getting the extra base hits. It's probably one of the better differences. New York Yankees, they just hit tanks for no reason. Look at that. Pitching, we already saw them. We passed by them a couple times. They're 23 or 22. 4.15 ERA. So next up, I kind of had to put them here with the 14 spot, the Miami Marlins, who are right now 11-8 and second in the division. They're only 3 games back. They've got Arms, Alcantara, Lopez. Rogers has not been as good this year, especially with that one rough start. The bullpen has been kind of dealing this year, if I'm being real. Hitting's still not really there, but they're getting some guys. Like Chisholm's been okay, Sanchez has been okay, Aguilar's been okay. So they're getting some production, but not a ton. And it's about... It's more than what we expected them to be, but we expected them to play this kind of way with the strong pitching. 13, the Twins. They have kind of done a 180, if I'm being real. It looked like they were going to be really, really bad. First in the division now, 11-9. Records are not great. Same with like the Astros, Mariners, that kind of thing. But look at the Twins right now. They're not hitting. 219 average, 664 OPS. Pitching-wise, we want to go over to here. So pitching-wise, if we want to look at the Twins are dealing right now at 3.27 ERA. 1.19 whip. So they are dealing right now. Next up, we got the Houston Astros at 12. Another one I'm just, because they have not been good this year, especially team stats wise. We want to go to the hitting side of things. This team has not been doing the dang thing. 25th right now with a 213 batting average, 663 OPS. Pitching wise, this team has also not been doing great, if I'm not mistaken. 16 is about average. Not sure really how they're winning games, especially recently. 5-5 in their last 10, and yeah, I don't know. Slightly above them, because I think they're doing slightly better than them. It's the Mariners. They're in-division rival. Double circle logo, by the way. This team's also 11-9, but if we go to the team stats, we want to look at it. 12th in hitting right now. It's actually pretty good for what we thought what they were. 237, 719 OPS. This team has a monumental difference from batting average to this. They're getting extra base hits. We go to the pitching side of things, and they're always going to be dealing. They're 8th right now, 3.27 ERA. So this team is dealing. The Rays, 14, 13, 12, 11. They fall into the top 10. This one's really weird. 12-8, and they're not the Rays we're used to because they're not as strong this year, but that they're still, look at this. They're 9th in hitting. How? This team has been under the radar like crazy. 9th in hitting and batting average wise. They're like with the Phillies practically. Pitching wise, I think we gotta go down a little bit farther if I'm not mistaken. Let me find them here. Oh no, pitching wise, they're doing fantastic. Oh no, they're actually dealing 2.98 ERA. Jeez. Definitely deserve to be in the top 10, which I just realized that he needs to be here. Angels, number 9, easy. This team has been so good. 14-7, 8-2 in their last 10. They are hot. They're 3rd in hitting right now, 258. This team's been good. Trout's back, he's healthy. Rendon's back, he's healthy. Ohtani, he's been dealing, and he's been doing it at the plate as well. So Cardinals come in number 7. This one's another tough one because this is a team that has been losing a little bit recently. They're 10th in hitting right now, 244, 679, excuse me. We go to the pitching side of things, and they are also top 10. They're 10 in both categories, which to me adds up to number 7 because that's the average of 10. Blue Jays, number 6, another tougher one. All right, no, we're good. Yeah, so the Blue Jays. So let's go to them. I was so confused. 13-8 right now. They're 6th in hitting. They had 250, 723 OPS. They're always going to hit. We already know. Pitching hasn't really been there. 19th, 3.89 ERA, 1.22 whip. So Gosman's really been the only guy who's really been dealing. And yeah, I mean, they're still doing it. They got a good record. So Brewers fall in slightly ahead of them. And I think about it, it doesn't make too much sense because, I mean, I guess there's recency bias. They're like 8-2 in their last 10, right? Yeah, they're 8-2 in their last 10. They're crazy. They're pitching. We already know. They're always going to pitch. Look at this. 3.16 ERA as a team. 1.19 whip. They can't hit for the life of them. And 217 batting average. That's bad. 658 OPS. It's not what you want out of your team, but they're still 6 because they've got that record. So top 5, boys. This is where it gets shaky. Giants 5. They're not bad. 6-4, but it's worse than other teams that you see here. So they've fallen back. But if we go to the team stats, they're still 14th in batting right now, 235, 693. So not great when you look at those numbers, but as a team pitching 4th. I mean, come on. Webb, Cobb, and Rodon. Oh, so good. Padres 4. This one was really tough because I think I just had to put them there because they're half a game up on them. So if we want to go, excuse me, the Padres, they're 17th in hitting right now. That they're walking a ridiculous amount of the time. Excuse me, 10% of the time. Pitching wise, 14th, but they're winning games. That's really all that matters. That walk percentage is helping them. Trust me. Yankees 3. This is a team that has turned it around. Let me see. 9-1 in their last 10 right now, boys. Okay, we'll look at the stats, even though I don't really want to, but it's okay. The frick are the Yankees? There they are. Here we go. 7th in hitting, 249 average, 752 OPS. Pitching, they're 3rd. They've been so sick. 2.84 ERA. Dodgers 2. This one was really tough, and right now, what it came down to pretty much was the record, 13-6. The team ahead of them has actually, or they have 2 games in hand on the team that I put ahead of them, but they've won both of them, so same amount of losses. But Dodgers 13-6. We want to look at this. Let's see. Hitting wise, this team's 11th, falling off a little bit, but it's still great. Pitching, they're 1st in pitching, guys. 2.15 ERA. That's ridiculous. You guessed it. It's the Mets. It was tough, okay? It was a tough one. Now, yes, they just threw a no-hitter. That signifies how insane their pitching is, and if we want to look at it, their pitching is number 2, but their hitting is also number 2. They have been so sick. The Mets are my least favorite team, but they have been so good this year. I can't deny it. I just can't deny it anymore. Boys, that's the power rankings. Boys, if you enjoyed, I really would appreciate it if you left a like on this video. Go check out the podcast, please. I really love if you would do that. Also, make sure you subscribe. Listen to Hardball Hangout. Listen to the podcast. You could go check those out on Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts. Follow me on Twitter at Century17YT. Subscribe to this channel below. I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace out. Have a blessed one.